out now.
Ooh, yeah. Ooh, man, she killing with the background. New year, new background. You know?
Yes. And that's because today you have a treat in store for you, because as we told you last week, if you tuned in, that we're going to have a sit down. What do they say in England? The tea. You're going to get the tea. You're going to get the scoop. You're going to get all of the things you ever wanted to know. I told you last week, it was the show on a segment on Channel 7 by this reporter. He always focused on someone you should know. So instilling that concept, we're introducing you tonight to someone you should know. And we're going to start off different on this one. We're going to introduce, I know you guys always hear me give him his proper due, his proper respect, but tonight you're in for a treat because you're going to meet Brian Skinner tonight. So share this video, tell everybody to come in and see it. And this guy, I'm telling you, he's someone you should know. Not only is he the other host of Ask Us, but he has a lot of irons in the fire. So we're going to find out all about that tonight. So go get your friend, your auntie, and whoever else you want to get and tune into the show, or just better yet, share the video with them. So we're going to ask those questions that you guys probably always wanted to know, if you're a little inquisitive like myself. Yeah, so we're going to start off and meet Brian Skinner. Good evening, Mr. Skinner. How are you today?
I am doing fairly well. It's so good to be on this fabulous show that everybody should share. Amen. They should share this. Woo! This is a hot seat tonight. Look at the light. It's bright.
Yes. So it's Friday night and you're in your home, or are you out and about?
No, I'm in the home.
Okay, it's Friday night and he's at home. That's telling us a little something. So give us
Lord knows where I'm at.
All right now. GPSs are in effect. There's trackers and a lot of other stuff we can use. So watch out. Be where y'all say y'all gonna be. Okay, that's just my stuff. Okay, but back to Mr. Skinner. Okay, so give us a little background. Where did you grow up? How many siblings do you have? Give us a little background.
So I grew up. I'm a country boy from the south side of Chicago.
Okay.
Tell everybody I'm from the South, and I am from the South. I'm from the south side of Chicago. And good evening to everyone. Mama Clark, beautiful wife, Sister Galloway, Sister Washington. God bless you all. Grew up south side of Chicago, born and raised. My father, God rest his soul, preacher, CTA bus driver, retired. Mother worked for the University of Illinois in Chicago. Both grew up here. My father and my mother, with my father, he had 4 children, and then with my mother, he had me and my brother. So it's a total. I have five siblings plus one. I'm number 7. One died at birth, and then I make number 7. So that's that. Grew up in Chicago.
Are you the youngest?
I'm the baby of the family. That's the best
All
one.
right. Okay, so you open this door. I have to walk in. So you're the baby of the family. So do you consider yourself a mama's boy?
No, I'm actually not a mama's boy.
Okay.
I would say he probably watching this, my brother Corey. I say Corey is the mama's boy more so. And yes, I'm going to share my screen. He's more the mama's boy. I was more of I cleaved to my father. I cleaved to my mother when I couldn't get my way with my dad. But most of all, I get my personality. I get them from both my parents, but I remind a lot of people of my father. So I wasn't ever the mama's boy. I was the spoiled child. Now that I am.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so you have 5 siblings. You grew up in Chicago. Were you educated in the Chicago public school system?
That's right, Frank L. Gillespie, 9301 South State Street. There we go. Almost forgot the address.
Represent CPS.
That's right. Now, see, when I was going to Gillespie, they was on probation, about to get locked down and everything like that. Now, Gillespie is actually a magnet school. So I'm like, somebody test scores went up. And so we appreciated that. I would say this, did I graduate at the top of my class? No, but I did graduate though. There, I graduated elementary school, high school. I went to a private school. It's closed now. Southside Baptist. Oakline is closed now. And then I ended up matriculating at Kennedy King. That's my alma mater. And then Governor State. That's my alma mater as well. And so I got the highest degree that I have. Which I don't like to tell people this actually.
It's okay today because we're interviewing you, so it's okay.
That's right. See, I'm telling y'all, Sister Vanya take over, y'all. I'm just, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
We realize you're humble, but it's okay today.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So, yeah.
So your highest degree
I got my master's. My master's degree is in social work. Social work is my field. My background, my concentration for my master's was holistic practices. So like herbs, things that they don't sell in the stores, pretty much. I have a background in that. Currently, I'm a counselor right now. And so I'm looking to get licensed this year. I got to add that to the list. I'm working on that. So yes, that is my true Hollywood East story.
All right. So you said you're looking to get licensed. Is that a state exam? Like
that's a state exam.
Okay. So tell me the age where you felt like, how old were you when you felt like you wanted to know what you wanted to do in life?
Always was curious about that from a young boy. I was always curious about that. My parents would take me to work with them. They would show me like how the workforce worked and all of that. I was very curious. I wanted to be a wrestler, and then I thought I wanted to be a football player. And
that didn't work Steve Austin and Stone Cold was big? You wanted to be a wrestler? Okay.
Yes. God rest the soul. Shout out to Maryland.
Yes, Maryland.
That was my wrestling buddy. And I wanted to do that, but I had this knack to like this niche to help people. I wanted to help people. I remember visiting the sick as a little boy. I would go with my father. As I became a teenager, I couldn't do it every week. And so I love helping people. And so I was always like, hey, what can I do to be of help, be of service? And so that was an interesting thing. What led me to social work was after I preached my first sermon. I was coming out of high school. I was looking at like a seminary that I could go to or whatever, but God led me in the direction to the field of social work because the Lord wanted me to learn how to help people and deal with systems. And so with that, I went on to school. I ended up enrolling in Kennedy King with that. And that's what led me to social work. And so I don't work with a whole lot of populations have helped me. And so I'm still trying to become competent. And so that's what led me to social work.
Okay, so you mentioned you preached your first sermon. So what led you to ministry?
At my old church, Pleasant Green, the church I grew up in, got baptized there. Father baptized me. I began teaching Sunday school. Yeah.
So you weren't worried about your father dropping you in the water because it was your dad.
Yeah, but I cried in the water though. I'm gonna be honest, because I was scared. actually, like, I knew Jesus, but the problem was getting baptized. I was like, oh my gosh, like I wouldn't walk the aisle because I was nervous, had a whole lot of questions. And at the time, Pleasant Green at that time had a lot of preachers, and my father was on the minister staff. And my father was able, I wanted him to baptize me. And
Okay.
so he took me down, and when he took me down, he was like, son, you know I got you. I ain't gonna let nothing happen to you.
Right.
What happened was when he took me down, I ended up crying. And he dropped me down and brought me back up, and that was that.
So how old were you when you was baptized?
I think I was 7.
Oh, you were young. Okay.
I was young because I had heard about the Sermon on Hell, and I asked my parents questions, and I love that my parents allowed me to have my own walk, which I encourage all parents, allow their child to have their own walk. And my parents did. They never forced it down my throat or anything like that. And that was that. We actually ended up leaving the church. Now, y'all getting some good stuff, so make sure y'all share this.
Okay, yeah, share and put your questions in the comments.
Yes. My parents and I, we ended up leaving the church. I believe I was like 9 years old. I don't know why we left. And I did not go to church for a few. I would visit here and there.
Okay.
My father will a lot. But we didn't like actively start going back to church until I was like 14 to 15 years old. Okay. We went back to Pleasant Green. And from then on, we were regular, we were faithful and going, attending Sunday school and all of that. And I started teaching Sunday school. I started teaching like children's class at 15 or 16. I think it was 16. And so I started teaching them. From there, I was real heavy in the youth department. I had this thing about helping youth. In fact, one of the reasons why I went to college, so I could give them the ins and out of how to work the school system. And so in the middle of that, I started playing the organ at 16 or 17, 16, I believe.
Okay.
I think I was 16. So I started learning how to play. A musician that was there, she couldn't play like the song we would like to sing. So I took up learning how to play. That's the truth.
Like contemporary versus traditional.
Yeah. And if she did play like something contemporary, it sounded traditional. Okay. So I was like, man, so the church wasn't like trying to get another musician. I was like, well, I'm gonna learn how to play. I was already playing drums. I started out playing drums. Okay. So I'm teaching Sunday school, I'm playing drums. And then I bought a keyboard to the church. And before I got an amp, I hooked the mic up to it, to the speaker, and started playing along. And then God blessed me, he anointed me, and then the rest was history. So
wait, pause there, put a pin there. So basically you were a self-taught musician?
Yes.
By ear?
By ear, yes. Learning, I had to learn the hard way. And I appreciate Sister Burwell, that's her name. I think she still plays for Pleasant Green. She was hard on the brother, but I ended up learning, and then I ended up being around musicians. And that helped me develop Jason at Old Friendship. Okay. Being around him, Old Friendship used to come to Pleasant Green. Old Friendship would be on fire, man. And I loved it. And I'm like, man, I want to get to that point. And so being around him, paying attention, all of that, that's what helped me out. And then also in school, along with going to Kennedy King, I was going to South Suburban College for jazz. So I went and was trying to learn how to read music, and I know how to read music a little bit. Okay. That was that 19 or 20, something like that. Yeah.
Wow. So when did you get your calling into ministry? We're kind of all over the place, but that's good because I want you to loosen up and be okay.
That's right. So she got
this is your life.
I'm gonna help y'all with this. Take the seat out. He go to menu and all that. Big questions coming down the road. I got called in the preaching ministry at the age of 16.
Okay.
I didn't preach my first sermon until I was 20. I didn't accept my calling until I was 19, but I didn't preach my first sermon until I was 20. So I ran from, well, I didn't run from it. I said, I can't run from God. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to show God I'm not going to do it. And so that's right. That's right. See, people ain't going to be real, but I'm like, I'm going to show God. Shout out to Sister Washington. She said, great Sunday school teacher. Yes, he was able to play. Yes. So 20, I preached my first sermon. And so I didn't want to do it. Number one, I didn't want to do it because I saw how people treated my father.
Okay.
And my father was a very faithful guy, visiting the sick, didn't look for recognition or anything like that. And just being around him, I saw how he was treated. And I said, I don't want to be treated like that. Like, I don't ever want to subject myself to that. And he was such a friendly guy, but he got used up a lot. And so with me seeing that, I'm like, nah, I'm okay. I don't want that for me. So for that reason, I didn't want to do it. When I almost coming close to submitting, I ended up telling God, like, I don't know what to say to the people. Like, I will run out of stuff to say. And God just assured me, like, I'm the one that's gonna put the words in your mouth. And so with that, I ended up submitting. I actually wrote a couple of sermons for my father in wrestling with my call. I wrote a couple of sermons for my father. My father tried to do it, and I got mad at him because he didn't do it the way I thought he should have. And my father was like, I can't read from notes. And so I had to learn that because I was trying to live my calling through him.
Okay.
So that's what led, that was that whole fiasco. I was teaching Sunday school. By that time, I'm teaching the youth. I remember playing for the youth choir. That's how I started out before I played for the big choir. I had a Honda Civic, and I used to put the youth choir in my Honda Civic. Shaky, that's what I called it. Because every time I would start the car, it was shaking, making noise. And my nephew asked, what's that noise? I said, that's the engine. I got a big engine. And he was like, oh, okay. He was little at the time. I couldn't tell him, like, car was kind of jacked up. But I used to put the youth choir in my car. I used to take them to the church. I ended up getting keys to the church at like 18 or 19. And I had that responsibility, man. And I used to rehearse them. I used to go to the church faithfully during the week and rehearse 2 hours almost every day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So God was really, really preparing you. So we did a little background. We see you come from good stock. We see that the morals and the values and the relationship with God was initiated at an early age. We see the pattern of your education, your faithfulness, dedication, hard work, love of your family. So we see all that. So now we're moving up. You got the call to ministry. You graduated from college. You accepted your calling. So then what? What's going on in your life at this point? Because now you're in your 20s. So what's going on at this point in your early 20s?
Early 20s, went through a bad relationship. And unfortunately, like, I had to go through it with the church paying attention. Okay. On top of that, my father passes away in 2014, the beginning, 2 days before my mother's birthday in 2014. He ends up passing away.
Okay.
I graduated that same year, and I got ordained as a minister that same year. Wow. I did not enjoy graduation because I wanted him there. Backstory real quick, and this is good insight. My father did not want me to play organ. He was trying to discourage me on not playing. And the reason why, which I understand now, better now today, my father was saying the organ is going to get in your way further down the road. And I was like, no, it's not. Like, this is what God got in me, this and that. And what he was saying was, more people are going to look to you as a musician if you're not careful. More people are going to look to you as a musician. And so like when the Spirit got me and ended up getting better and or whatever, I started to experience what he was telling me after he left. Even my father, in the sickest moments, he came to a concert and he was like, he wasn't feeling well at all. He said, "I want to come hear you play," and that was the most interesting thing. My father's last words before he passed away. I talked the night he passed away. It was a Wednesday night when he passed away, actually, the 22nd of January, 2014. And the last words he said to me was, "Teach well, son." And those was the last words he.
Wow.
And so that's what happened. I ended up, I graduated from Kennedy King. I ended up going to Governor State University.
Okay.
My first semester at Governor State University, I ended up being on academic probation. I graduated with honors Kennedy King, but after my first semester, I ended up on academic probation. I didn't understand being in that age. I'm transitioning to becoming a man. And so I had to deal with him not being here, and I had to take on more responsibility. And so I had to learn how to balance my responsibility along with ministry and my, personal life, and then along with the academic life and what that entailed.
Okay.
I talked to a professor, and that professor, Dr. Glass, I talked to her, and she asked me what was going on. When I told her what was going on, like my father passed away, it's kind of tough. She said to me, she said, "Well, why you ain't say nothing until now?" I said, "I don't know." And as a boy transitioning to a man, I had that struggle. Like I had to put everything on my shoulders to persevere and push through. Okay. So I learned the lesson to tell people what's going on, and maybe you can get some help. And she encouraged me. She said, "You know what?" She said, "I believe you can do it. I know you can make it here at Governor State. You are on academic probation, but if you need any help with anything, please let me know." The next semester, I got a 4.0. After the second semester, got a 4.0 GPA. Stepped that thing up, man. God helped me. That was a growing moment with me because the relationship between me and my father, for those that know, we were very tight. And my mother, big supporter of me. My mother supported me more on playing the organ than my father did, but I understood what he was saying. But me and my father was tight. I mean, we would argue with each other, but at the end of the day, I'm like, all right, as I got older, he supported me in all my football games, basketball, my mother had to talk him into letting me play basketball. So it was a balancing act, but I was really close with my father. So with my father passing, that was a huge hit and a huge loss for me because I would be behind my father. And my father was a covering. So like my father would take hits and stuff that I wanted to say. I talked to him and he would be the one to say it and he would take the bullet. So him passing, like I had to make a whole lot of adjustments. And so that's what happened. Ended up graduating. Before I graduated with my bachelor's, I started coming around old friendship.
Okay.
I started coming around old friendship because Pleasant Green and Old Friendship fellowship with each other.
Yes.
And so I've been hearing Pastor Burgess preach since I was 16 years old. And he would always tell Pleasant Green, "I'm your country cousin."
Yeah.
And man, I ain't never heard nobody like him preach. And he was so sincere and he was spiritual and he just took you to a place and preaching. And so that was after my father passed. I'm trying to grow as a minister. I'm at my church playing.
So wait, let me just put a pin right there. So you're at your church playing, your father just passed, you're finishing school, you see this preacher who fellowships with your church, who knocks your socks off in the ministry. Are they at this time letting you preach at your home church? Are you
Yeah.
preaching on a regular?
Well, at my old church, Pleasant Green, the preachers, I would preach there twice a year.
Okay, okay. So go on with your
then
story. I just wanted to know if you were practicing preaching at that time. Okay.
I was preaching at least twice a year. So Children's Day and Youth Day. I knew for a fact, like, hey, you know, those days I knew I was gonna get the opportunity to preach.
Okay.
I started going to Old Friendship because I would say this. At Pleasant Green, they saw me more as a musician. And I got treated like that. However, though I had the anointing to play and all of that and etc., my call was very heavy in preaching. And so I was, you know, my father not being here, I'm transitioning into becoming a man and all of that. I started going to Old Friendship because Old Friendship would be on fire. And so I'm like, all right. I was visiting a lot of churches. If my church didn't have anything, I would visit a lot of churches. But I started going to like Old Friendship. And then next thing you know, like y'all would have like week services, if it was an anniversary or whatever. And I would show up to that. And it was one day, I think Jason was sick. And I wasn't that strong in playing just as yet. And Jason was sick, and we walked out to the pulpit. There was no music. And Pastor Burgess said, hey, Reb, if you don't mind, you know, would you play? So I said, all right, because I wasn't that confident in my playing. And so I ended up playing, but I kept coming around because I just love the fire that was there. I love the service. It was rocking. I love it. And what I would do after service, like I did at my old church, after service, I would just leave. And then one day, Pastor Burgess said, preacher, you got to go somewhere? And I said, no, I ain't got to go nowhere. He said, well come on to the back. Come in the office with the preachers, man. And I came, and I ain't know, like, you know, what he wanted or whatever. And he was like, where do you go after service? And I said, I go home. And so he said, yeah, because he said, I see like you'll get on out the way. Because I didn't have that at my church. I'm just being real. I didn't have that. And so with that, I did not know that, you know, my father being gone, I did not know that Pastor Burgess would be the one who would, I took him on as a father, and I looked up to him. And the next thing you know, we started getting close. And then next thing you know, if you saw Pastor Burgess, you saw myself.
Yes. And I want to put a pin right there because I think this is a great ministering moment because you lost your father unexpectedly. You were trying to become a man and trying to take on all these responsibilities and assignments that you had going on. And deep down, it seemed like you was really missing your father. No, I'm not a therapist, but I'm just listening. And then God placed Pastor Burgess in your life to fulfill that need, you know, and it's just so amazing how God will do that for us. Because a lot of people wonder, you know, how can I cope if I lose a parent, a spouse, a child? And God is so amazing, he'll put that in your space. Nobody can replace them, of course, we know that, but he will fulfill that need. So I just love that part because a lot of people think they'll never be the same, but yeah. So
that is true. And I was praying, I was like, God, like my father's not here. And I know, like, I'm like, I need some guidance, but I wasn't just gonna look up to any man. Because you knew my father, like, and the guy he was, I was like, I can't afford to just look up to any man. And so with me coming to Old Friendship, I did not know that Pastor Burgess and myself, we would get close as we did. And next thing you know, I'm attending y'all outings. Pastor Burgess is the one who introduced me to the preachers conferences that's in Chicago. And I started going. It's because of him. And then I'm able to meet other preachers and pastors because of him. And then I wasn't confident in my preaching. And Pastor Burgess, man, Pastor Burgess would pour into me. He also chastised me too, praise God.
Okay.
Had no problem, especially when we get that finger. Oh my gosh, he would chastise me. And so I spent time with him. I spent a whole lot of time with him. We really got tight. We started going to the gym together. And he lost a lot of weight. And I lost some too, but I ain't lose as much as he did. He was coming down. And he was motivating me, like, you know. And so I had that camaraderie with him. And I was so thankful for him because I'm not the type to run with a group of preachers. I'm not the one that runs with a crowd. I'm not the one that, you know, I'm just not that person. I like real people. And so with that, because of him, I was able to grow musically because I'm around Jason. But then as a preacher, I grew. Pastor Burgess, and then I'm going to move on. Pastor Burgess said one time after I preached, I went over to the organ. And he was like, man, Rev, he said this in front of everybody. He said, man, I'm going to see if we can put the organ in the pulpit. He's like, because as soon as you get done preaching, Doc, you go over to the pulpit. I'll be over to the instrument. And man, I was rolling. He said in front of everybody, and everybody laughed. And he, in the office, he was like, Rev, he's like, the organ going to be all right. He's like, the organ going to be all right. He's like, just preach, man. And man, when I say that man was like pouring into me, oh man, and then when I had the honor and the privilege, if Jason wasn't around to play behind him, oh man, I loved it because I'm like, man, this is like somebody I looked up to. And I'm like, my gosh. And then next thing you know, I took him as a father, my father in the ministry. And he was so humbled by it. Like somebody like him, he said, you really look at me as a father in the ministry? And I said, yeah. I'm like, you the one that's trained me. And so that's when that story comes in. He said, oh, you want to do all of what I do and all that? And I was like, yeah. And that's when he took me to the church and we started cleaning the church. And so I appreciated that. I was still teaching at my church, still playing at my church, still preaching. The year before he passed, 2019, I really started, God allowed me to preach at other churches. I was really preaching at more churches then. And I had grew stronger. So it was in 2019, I started preaching at the Orleans Missionary Baptist Church.
All right.
I started preaching at Orleans in August, preached for them. The end of August, preached for them again, November. And then I met with the pastoral committee. And then I left Pleasant Green in the end of 2019. The Lord told me to get off the organ. I left Pleasant Green, and then I was just visiting, and then I would come to Old Friendship, like toward the end, like by the time Pastor got up to preach, I would then come to Old Friendship. I was visiting other churches. Next thing you know, I ended up getting a call, and I started preaching at Orleans on a regular at the end of January of 2020. And so it was in March.
So wait, we got to put a pin in that. You just went through a lot of good details. Okay, so you were still working and living life before you started preaching more on a regular and made the decision to leave Pleasant Green, correct? Right. Okay, so after you left and you started preaching at different churches, your preaching is getting stronger, your ministry is getting better, and you're still growing as a man, and you're still working and handling your responsibilities. And then, so now we're at the end of 2019. So after that, what happened after you was preaching through different churches? Did you have your resume out there? Were you looking for a home church? Where were you at in your ministry?
I I was supposed to actually, I should have left Pleasant Green before 2019, honestly, and I didn't. And I didn't do it.
Okay.
I'm like, the Lord had been told me like, leave.
Okay.
But I didn't. What happened was it was a preacher who knew about Orleans. And he was like, Rev, man, God placed me in my spirit, man. It's this church, Orleans. And I think you'll be a good fit over there. He said, pray about it and see what happens. So I prayed about it. I talked to Pastor, and Pastor said, well, Rev, he was like, he said, put your resume in and see what happens. He was like, and I said, well, all right. I actually dropped my resume off. Who I dropped my resume off to, I actually dropped my resume off to Sister Galloway. She's in the comment section.
Oh, okay, Sister Galloway, okay.
Sister Galloway and Deacon Galloway, her husband, was at the church that day. And I ended up dropping my resume off. It was a weekday. I remember it was in the evening time, like around 5 or 6 or something like that. I ended up dropping my resume off. And then I ended up getting...
And 1 second, Mr. Skinner, for those of us who are like me out there in our support group, tell us this. Is preacher's resume like my resume, like years of work experience, or is a preacher's resume like all of your preaching experience?
Years of experience in ministry, degrees. It's just like I would say it's the equivalent of a professional degree. I mean, resume, same thing. Okay. Experiences, things of that nature. It's the same.
But like if you worked at Wendy's, you wouldn't put that on a resume to be a preacher, would you?
No. So what I would put, so for example, I put the ministries that I work within the church. So I was the assistant superintendent. How many years for that? I've taught. Put that down. When I got licensed, when I got ordained, they do collect. They're supposed to collect your license and your ordination so they can verify you're a preacher. That goes along with that as well. Some churches will ask for recommendations depending on why. So it's the same thing, I would say. It's the same.
I just wanted to clear that up because I was never clear about that. I didn't even know that preachers interviewed to be the pastor of churches. So I'm sure there's somebody out there like me who just didn't know. So I just wanted to make that clear how to do that. Okay, so you dropped your resume off with the Galloways.
Yeah, I dropped my dropped my resume off. In fact, I ended up going down to Baton Rouge, Louisiana with Pastor because he was having revival. Speaking of Pastor Murray, I'm gonna end up calling you. Pastor Murray down in Louisiana. He called me the other day. I'm gonna call him back.
I love Pastor Murray.
He ran revival down there from Sunday to I believe Tuesday or Wednesday. It was one of those, and I ended up going with him. When I came back, I preached at Orleans. And then I preached again at Orleans, I think November. And then I taught Sunday school. I taught a Sunday school class at Orleans. And so that's 2019.
Okay.
That fifth Sunday in 2019 was my last day I was at Pleasant Green. I was very nervous in telling Pastor Burgess. And Pastor Burgess, I can share this. Pastor Burgess asked me, he said, man, why you ain't say nothing? And I was like, I didn't want him to hear it from nobody else. I wanted him to hear it from me. And he said, why you ain't come tell me? Like, why you ain't come talk to me? And I was like, the Lord told me to leave. And so when he said that, he said, well, you said that the Lord told you. And he left it at that. And we was trying to figure out, I was trying to figure out like which direction I was going in. Did not know, Lord just told me to leave. Okay. And so I told him that, I actually told him that New Year's Eve. I told him on New Year's Eve, we was at a restaurant. I was so nervous and shy. of telling him. It was like telling your father you did something wrong, like you crashed the car or whatever, and So so then going into 2020, I'm just visiting churches. I would visit churches, but then like I went to my home base, which was Old Friendship.
Okay.
And so Old Friendship was a stop. I'm like, I know I'm stopping at Old Friendship. Like I knew that for a fact. And I would stop at Old Friendship. I even got a chance to witness a baptism there. And so it was the end of January when I became a regular at Orleans. So I started teaching Sunday school on the regular, and then I was preaching the Sunday morning worship service.
Okay.
And so I kept doing that. And the next thing you know, there was a church meeting at Orleans in March.
Okay.
I believe it was the second Sunday in March. I ended up meeting with the church. The church was interested in me becoming their pastor.
Okay.
And so, yeah. And so I was amazed at that. Had a meeting with the church, met with them. And then next thing you know, that following Sunday, I had to cancel church. Now, last year around 2020 is when the coronavirus started picking very heavy and strong. It was that third Sunday. So that Saturday before that third Sunday, me and Pastor Burgess had our last conversation on the phone. And I wasn't feeling well. I wasn't feeling well at all Saturday. There was a funeral at the church. I wasn't feeling well. He told me, Reb, I'm gonna call you back. He never did. I was trying to figure out how I was gonna go to the church to have church, because I had told the church, like, hey, we're gonna at least have an hour service.
Okay.
And I couldn't even get out the bed. I was like, at least I could put a chair in the middle aisle and I could kind of give a word, and then that's it. I couldn't even do that. So church ended up being canceled. I ended up getting sick. Pastor hearing like, he got sick and then he got taken to the hospital. I'm bedridden, can't move. Every time I got up, I fainted. And then next thing I know, I went to Christ Hospital, which I don't know why they call it Christ. Y'all can visit, ask, because they didn't do nothing. And then I ended up developing a pain on my left side around my kidney. And the pain was like taking a water paper and squeezing it. And that's what I felt. I ended up going to Northwestern. Shout out my god sister. Even though I was mad at her, because she was like, we're going to Northwestern. And I did not want to go to Northwestern. I should have let her drive the car that night, but I didn't. I drove. I ended up almost passing out before I got to the room that they was taking me in. They took a CAT scan, and then come to find out I had about 4 to 5 blood clots on my lungs.
Jesus. Wow.
And so they put me on blood thinners and all of that. My mother goes into the hospital. And then my brother, he goes into the hospital. And then I ended up like that following week. This was after the third Sunday. That following week, that Monday, I'm back at home. Only stayed one night in the hospital. I ended up getting a call that Pastor Burgess passed away. I couldn't cry because if I cried, it hurt. When I got the call, he died. I could not believe it. And I was stunned. And that was like one of the worst days of my life, because I just knew he was coming out the hospital. And I was just thinking in my mind, I said, when he get out and when he preached, I'm like, oh my gosh, like he is going to tear Old Friendship up. Because I know probably he learned singing something. He is just going to tear Old Friendship up. And when I heard he passed, I got the phone call, and I ended up, a couple of preachers ended up calling me trying to check on him. When I told them, they was like, let me call you back. And I ended up getting a bunch of phone calls. I ended up crying. I cried real bad. I was in pain. I suffered. And that was one of the most darkest moments. On top of that, I just started leading a church.
Right.
So he died. I'm sick. The one who I would lean on, he's gone. So the only one that I could really lean on at this time is the Lord.
Yes.
And so I always tell people 2020 was my rite of passage. I had to step up to the front line. And so as I got my strength back, I'm like, well, I got to give a word to the people. We ended up getting Zoom. I got Zoom. My god sister, Catherine Rice.
Yes, Catherine.
Catherine ended up producing the broadcast. She made the Facebook pages for Orleans. I had the idea of, at first I was doing the Sunday school and preaching. And then I said, you know what? Let's do Zoom. Let's take this Zoom. Let me try this Zoom out. Tried to Zoom out. We did prayer service, just straight prayer service for like a few weeks. Then in May of last year, we had Sunday school on Zoom. So before we did Sunday school on Zoom, we did prayer service. And I was trying to get people acclimated with Zoom. I got the phone line, got the video call. I got all of that. We got used to that. The Lord led me to do Zoom, Sunday school on Zoom. We started doing that. People was regularly attending. And then the next following month, June, I started teaching my first Bible class. And that was all on Zoom. And then the Lord spoke to me and said, you need to go online. And so I didn't want to do it. I did not want to do Sunday school online, did not want to do Bible class online, didn't want to do none of that. Really had hesitation about doing a broadcast online because if you go back to those first videos, my voice is shaking because I'm still weak and I'm recovering. So I think we did our broadcast third week of April, and I'm still weak. I did not even tell the this. Though I think I ended up sharing like what happened with me. But anyway, and shout out to the Orleans members. There was some members that was calling, that was texting, checked up on me. They saw the news about Pastor Burgess, and like I love Orleans. We started doing that, started doing really good. To God be the glory. And then around the end of November, the beginning of December. Well, let me go back. Before I preached, I was encouraging the church. The building is not the church. We are the church.
Absolutely.
And I'm like, since we are the church, I had to put that focus. We couldn't go inside the building. Chicago had a strict restriction on us of going inside the building. The state of Illinois did as well. And so we was having our prayer services on Zoom. We was having Sunday school. We was having Bible class. And then also we had our broadcast coming on Facebook Live. Okay. Coming into Orleans, I didn't know that we was going to have to do all of this. Did not know we was going to have to do any of this. This was all like God was giving me this. So I kept saying before I preached, like, tell somebody I am the church. And then it came to me. I need to bag up a little bit more, Fine. Oh my gosh, I skipped a whole lot of detail.
Yes, but for the sake of time, so you implemented that whole Zoom and bringing the church up to social media. Because of the pandemic, we couldn't physically be in the building, and you were convincing the congregation that instilling in them that we are the church. The building is just a building that we as believers get together and worship together. But the concept of, knowing that you are the church is within you, that just became an integral part of your ministry, correct?
Yes, that was very prominent. But I have to bag up.
Okay, come on, back up.
Yeah, let me back up. I'm skipping. All right, here we go. And y'all, if this good, share it, y'all.
Yes.
I I think it was around in April, the end of April. It was a balloon release for Pastor
Yes.
at Old.
Mm-hmm.
At the balloon release, Pastor's sisters were up here, Mama Clark, Kim, family was up here. Church members showed up, and it was just like a little small ceremony of releasing the balloons. And so Minister Lauren,
Minister Lauren.
she facilitated, and I had to do the prayer. I was asked to do the opening prayer. And so I did not see Lauren. Lauren was on Zoom, and she said, Pastor Skinner, we ready. And I ended up doing the prayer. And what was supposed to happen was everybody was supposed to just drive around and release the balloons.
Right.
Then everybody got out the car. Everybody got out the car.
Yes.
So I had some balloons, and I'm still weak at this time. I had some balloons. I ended up blowing up the balloons, trying to blow up the balloons because I got the balloons at the last minute. And Sister Vanya had some awesome balloons. Her and her mom, Lord have mercy, had the best balloons, I want to say, at the balloon release. And we got these balloons at the dollar store. Catherine is my witness. And I couldn't blow them up. Didn't have no lungs in the first place. And I told Catherine, I said, throw one of them out the window. And if you could throw it out the window and it goes in the air, cool. Man, she threw that one out there, went straight to the ground. I was like, all right, let's cut that up. So I ended up interacting with the family. So our mother, my Burgess was there. And then I met Lauren. That day. We had a conversation. And then at the balloon release, the second one for his birthday in May, we ended up having another conversation, and the conversation ended up extending. We talked even longer. Now, get this. Lauren was communicating with me via Messenger on Facebook. Whatever like mother needed or anything like that. I ended up giving my number to Lauren because I'm like, we're gonna talk or whatever. And I had told Lauren I loved her. And so Lauren said, yeah, I love you too. But like Lauren, well, she ain't gonna tell you all this. She thought that was weird. And so I was like, I had went through a lot, and I'm like, I'm telling everybody I love you, even people that probably didn't like me, I'm like, I love you, So we ended up talking. We had that long conversation. And then like in June, we really hit it off. In June, we talked. And if y'all want to see that, go over to 30 Single and Saved. You get further detail about it. Me and Sister Vanya actually ended up doing Zoom etiquette together. That was around June or July. Things keep going. What ended up happening, then we started doing Ask Us. Ask Us came last year, thanks to Sister Vanya. She had this concept in mind, and I'm like, yes. I'm like, well, let's do it. And it was a spinoff from the Zoom etiquette. Lauren and I got in a relationship in August. I asked her, would you be my woman? And she said, yes.
Yes.
And so that happened. We ended up growing close together. And the rest is history. She would come up here. She ended up surprising me one day. She came up here unannounced. Her mother was up here, very great surprise. I still got that photo. Her mom, we was at her auntie house, and her mama left out. And the next thing I know, Lauren is coming through the door. And that was a totally great surprise.
So we also all want to know, when is the wedding?
To be continued. Because we want to see what's going to happen with the coronavirus and all of that. So I can tell you right now, with the ceremony, we'll have the ceremony next year.
Okay, that's a good thing. We
looking
want to
like.
know that.
Yeah,
And
because I mean, and then don't be mad. You all, I want to let some people know right now, because everybody ain't gonna come to the ceremony. Praise God. You gonna get on Zoom. Praise God, and you'll be able to watch it. But a lot of y'all may not be able to attend in person, but you will have that Zoom password and ID number. So I'm just putting that out there right now. So don't nobody get their feelings hurt, and don't take it personal, okay? Because it'll be some people that did not get an invite. But if you in Zoom, you in the ceremony, you in the number. That's all that matter. And ain't nothing personal, just business. All right.
and
So
guys, I just want to interject on that. These two, I love them both. Minister Lauren and Reverend Skinner, they are people who know a lot of people. And yeah, I could just imagine the attendance that's going to be at this wedding. But yeah, they both know a lot of people. And they, Lauren comes from a big family. So yes, 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 yes. Okay, real quick, I want to get to this. So you're engaged, you're ministering, your body's healing, you're still working, you're still living life, you're so grateful that God saved you, you're telling everybody you love them, you're just in a good space. So tell us what you got in the oven right now, because you forgot about a lot of stuff, but we do have time constraints, but tell us about the book that's in store, and tell us about your new vision that's going on. We already know you're going to be a great husband. And you became a father and to a beautiful angel. So now tell us about the whole author thing, and tell us about the new thing you have in the fire.
So the author thing, when it gets gray, it's about provoking and evoking people to do what God built them to do, in a nutshell. I ended up developing a podcast. You can catch that podcast on any listening platform, and then also on my author page on Facebook. You can hear some of the episodes and all of that. That book, I started working on that book around 2019. And honestly, like, I'm still writing the book. Didn't even know I'm still writing the book. Because I need to add some stuff that I learned in 2020 into the book. So that's that book. Hopefully it'll come out at the end of the year. If not the end of the year, next year it is coming out.
Okay, all right, speak that thing. I like that. Yeah, we ready to buy it. It's gonna be on Amazon, so we all have access.
And also, for those that don't want to read, it's gonna be on audiobooks as well. So like, I'm figuring all of that out. It ain't like I just put the book to the side. Like, I'm figuring all of that out right now. Okay. And so if that, and so what I have up right now, I'm about to share my screen for everybody to see.
Okay.
All right. Can everybody see that?
The subscribe thing is kind of in the way.
Gotcha.
Okay, now we could see it.
All right. So this is the website to I Am the Church Ministries. At the end of 2020, at the beginning of January, God called me to organize I Am the Church Ministries. And it was based off of what happened in the pandemic, how we were able to really be effective in ministering to people online. And so with that, God led me to organize I Am the Church Ministries. The church was organized February 2nd, 2020. And so let me do this. So this is our website. Okay. You can it'll show up, IamTheChurchMinistries.org, and it just published. Shout out to Lauren, Minister Lauren. Yes.
All right, Lauren.
Built the website. She built the website. And so we appreciate her, of course. So this is the homepage. This is the video. And you all can check that out. You all can catch anything that we do on YouTube, Facebook, and then also Twitch.
Okay.
In fact, if you're viewing this broadcast right now, you can catch this podcast, Ask Us. You can catch us on all three listening platforms. We're streaming on all three listening platforms as we speak right now. These are the announcements, membership application. You can read all about our beliefs. We believe in God, Jesus, the Holy Spirit. You can contact us. And so I know, and here's our purpose. Let me just give you all in a nutshell, and I encourage everybody to visit IamTheChurchMinistries.org. And there go our P.O. box, there go the website, and then there goes the email. In a nutshell, I am the church. God gave me this church. And basically, the church has left the building. I'm saying it took the pandemic for the church to be effective, in my opinion. Just like in the book of Acts, when persecution was severe in Jerusalem, it caused the church to scatter, but it caused the church to do the will of God. That was said in Acts chapter 1, when it says, you should be my witnesses in Judea and Samaria and to the uttermost parts of the world. And that's what the pandemic did. And so basically all I've done is left Jerusalem, and God has sent me to go straight online, to go and fish and make other fishers of men. And so I am the church. My gosh, let me introduce the board real quick. So the board is, of course, Lady Lauren.
Yes.
You have my mother, she's on the board, and then you have Sister Catherine Wright Smith, who is responsible. Catherine is responsible for us streaming on all of these platforms and all of that. So she takes care of all of that. She does all the social media work for us. The logo is actually done by Pastor B. Clark down at Unity Fellowship, which is my brother-in-law, by the way. He was the one that is responsible for doing the logo.
Okay.
So, and so I am the church, and you can catch it. Also, if you want to give, we have an option. You can give to us. We have the links available right here, where you can give Venmo, Cash App, Zelle, PayPal. And if you want to do it Jesus way, send it to us in mail. But then also we have a resource page, and this resource page is geared towards helping people that have other issues, like suicide crisis text line, National Sexual Assault Hotline, CDC, National HIV and AIDS. So there's a resource page because we know that people have not only spiritual problems, but they have physical and mental as well. So we have a resource page. I Am the Church looks to impact the household first. The household, then the community, and then the nation. And so those gifts that we have, those gifts that God has given us all, is to help edify the body, but then also impact the dark world that we live in. So that's what I Am the Church is all about. Now, how you can join from anywhere. If you any city, any state, you can join the church because everything is online. All you need is a connection. If you're not on Facebook, you can catch us on YouTube. You can catch us online in our website. You can catch us. There is a membership application. And really, honestly, how do we do ministry? You can do ministry right in your neighborhood. One of the programs that we have, we're going to do the Feed the Homeless Challenge, where wherever you are, you'll be responsible for at least feeding 10 homeless people. Whatever city or state, anything like that. And it's a big thing. When you become a member of I Am the Church Ministries, you will receive a I Am the Church t-shirt that will be gifted to you. There is a new members orientation that you have to go through, which is telling you about the organization, what we're all about, and etc. But it's encouraging people to take those God-given gifts and impact the people that you are around, to compel people to come to Jesus. And so
Yeah. And
instead of
this
it
is
being
the
housed
vision.
all in the building. Yeah, instead of
Hmm.
being housed all in the building, let's take it to the streets. And that's what I Am the Church is all about. It's about being the church every day. And so the church is not where you go, but it's the church is where you go. So in other words, wherever you go, the church goes. So if you go to Walmart, if you go get your hair and your nails done, get a haircut, you go anywhere, you go to a car wash, guess what? You are the church.
Yes, yes, yes. Wow. So I'm sure you guys see why I said this is someone you should know. This is a 29-year-old African American man with a vision. I know if a lot of you guys are like me, you heard going to church every day. We need to take the church to the world, because the world needs the church. Amen. And this vision that Mr. Skinner has is amazing, because in this virtual setting, and the obligations as in the membership, it's taking the church out to the world. Hence, I Am the Church. And people are attracted when they see the Jesus in you. And if this vision, people are assigned to do things to show the God in them, how amazing and how many lives can this touch? So, Reverend Skinner is allowed to plug today because this show is all about him. And if you're excited, like I am, about his vision and the things that God is doing in his life, and his lovely wife, she's just jumped on board and partnered with him, and they are doing their thing. And I am just so proud of them. And I just really wanted to allow him to expose himself out here, because he needs support. He needs support of others. I'm a total supporter, and he needs your support too. Because all of our talents together, imagine what we could do, to impact this world. So this is why I said that Reverend Skinner is someone you should definitely get to know. And we got to learn a lot about him. We got to learn his upbringing, his education, his ministry, his passions. We got to learn about his new family and what he believes in and the visions that God has given him. So it's been amazing. Do you have anything else you would like our supporters to know, Reverend Skinner? We're just so glad to have you as a part of Ask Us, and that we're able to fit into your busy life. So is there anything else out there you would love our viewers to know about you?
Man, I've been an open book. I'm not perfect. And I tell people all the time, I'm not perfect. If you pleaded the blood of Jesus, then guess what? You ain't perfect neither. And so, listen, I'm not a perfect person. I'm just somebody that wants to just please God in the most perfect way, excellent way. So honestly, and I love to laugh. I'm a jokester. People
Yes.
tune in week after week. So I'm real. Definitely no Good Friday service next Friday at 7 o'clock. We have a Good Friday service. It's about 30-40 minutes. We launch the first Sunday in April, which is Resurrection Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And our service time is at 10 o'clock. And then we re-air it at 12:30. So definitely want to appreciate that. Shout out to my big brother, Michael McLean, for providing the music. Definitely a good brother. But definitely, man, if you don't take anything else from this, you are the church. The church is within you. And so even at your prospective churches, even if you don't join I Am the Church, that's fine. Even if you just want to partner with us and just participate in the Feed the Homeless Challenge, that's great. Represent the church that you come from, and let's partner together and let's really impact the world in an effective way. I love everybody. I love Sister Vanya. Me and Sister Vanya really connected last year. And so I really appreciate Sister Vanya. Sister Vanya is definitely an asset and definitely an awesome person. And so, and Sister Vanya and I didn't really get close like that until last year. And so,
Yes, it's amazing. And you know what? Here's a little secret. You know, we can't have a show without having a little drama and gossip, right? So Reverend Skinner was actually my mom's pick, right? He always laughed and joked with my mom, never me, right? And I was like, okay. So the fact that we're in collaboration together now is really funny because my mom is always like, tell Reverend Skinner I said hi. like she feel a little left out, but she is so proud of you as well. We're both proud of you, but you know how the person leaves from being your friend and wind up being your sister or brother friend, and you feel some kind of way. She feels some kind of way, but she is so proud.
I love Mama. Don't be like that. I love her. You don't know what?
She's like, tell Reverend Skinner I said hi. But tell us this, because and this the last part, guys. I know we've been on a little long, but tell us this, Reverend Skinner. You're a young man. You know, and I always tease you and say you're an old soul because you're wise beyond your years. And we all see that, I'm sure. But tell us, being a young man living in an urban society and living in a world that a lot of kindness is not out here, how do you stay on the path? How do you stay on the path running for Jesus? How do you avoid all the influences of the outside world? Because there's so many. And you're a young man, but what keeps you grounded?
Stand in prayer, stand in the word, but then also having accountability partners. People that surround me, who help strengthen me when I'm weak. And my family is the start of that, Lauren and our daughter. And then, of course, my god sister, Catherine, then my mother. But then also people like Big Lynn, my cousin. And then I have other friends. And then also other like preachers and then other people that I know hold me accountable, who strengthen me. And even if I do get frustrated, upset, or dismayed, I got somebody that's in my ear that's encouraging, that'll direct me back onto the path, that'll encourage me, because there are times I do get weak. So definitely stand in the word, stand in prayer, but then also having the people that's not afraid to tell you like your stuff stank. You need to straighten out. And let me just say this for the record, Sister Vanya is one of those people as well. Vanya don't have no problem. I'm trying to tell y'all, you better write happy birthday and spell it out.
Happy birthday.
You know, a birthday in May, y'all. But anyway, but having that helps me. But then also for those that may look towards me, I have to be an example for them. But then also people like Vanya are examples for me. And if I talk, when I talk about stuff, they're able to encourage me and put me back right where I'm supposed to be. And so that's what I pay attention to, and that's what I feed into, and that's what feeds me. So definitely, and it's not easy. It's not easy, you all. It's not easy at all. Definitely. But God is able, and he has been able, and he continues to be able. So that's what helps me.
Amen. Guys, I can't say it enough. This is why the Reverend Brian Skinner is someone you should all know. So I hope you guys enjoyed this interview. I certainly did. I've got to see a little of it manifest by being there at certain periods of his life. So again, I'm just so proud to know him. Please check out the website of I Am the Church Ministries. Partner with him on being a resource in your community, in your church. Let's partner with Reverend Skinner to get his mission, to get his vision out there. Because what do we need? This world needs a lot of more Jesus, a lot of more love in it. So
Yeah.
I'm just so proud of him. I'm so impressed. I hope you guys enjoyed this interview as much as I did. And I hope you guys will continue to support Reverend Skinner and be a part of his team, because his vision is what I believe is God's will for all of us, and to love and help each other, and to have people be attracted by your walk, by showing and displaying the God in you. It's easy to say you are a Christian, you are a disciple, you're a follower of Christ, but when people see your self-discipline, your self-sacrifice, your faith, and your help for one another, of loving each other and others, then you're actually showing the God in you. With that, tonight was a great show. I love the interview, and we're going to give Reverend Skinner the last words, but I love you guys. Please share this video. Please check out I Am the Church Ministries website. Please support Reverend Skinner. I love you. Happy Friday. God bless. I'm going to give Reverend Skinner the last words.
And definitely, I appreciate Sister Vanya, who have done also excellent with the background, but then also with the questions, the follow-up, and just the space in the container that she provided on tonight to have it. Definitely, we appreciate Sister Vanya. Eyes have not seen, ears have not heard, neither has it entered into the hearts of men those great things that God has in store for Sister Vanya, because Sister Vanya got a word. She be teaching Sunday school, y'all. She powerful. And she's gonna be teaching at least a lesson or two at I Am the Church. But anyway,
I'm totally a partner. I'm totally in support, guys. And I love everything that you're doing, and I love everything that God is doing in your life. So God bless you all.
And listen, if you're on Facebook, please go and like and follow the I Am the Church fan page, where you can catch our lives at. You can do the little bell thing. You get the notification whenever we go on live. And then also, I told y'all about First Sunday, all of that. Also, this is a resource. It's something I want to tell people. Okay. I just learned about this resource. For those that have paid like a funeral cost last year due to COVID, I found out today FEMA actually got a program that's going to be up and running in 1 to 2 weeks now. And they're going to be giving a funeral reimbursement. It's a funeral reimbursement program that FEMA is doing. I learned about it. That's something that if you know anybody, a loved one passed away, you definitely want to tap into the FEMA program. I don't know the requirements. I just learned about the resource today. So I just want to let people know that. But like I said, all that you all see that I have and all that you see that I'm doing is all because of God. We definitely appreciate each and every one of you all. Ask us on YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube page, I Am the Church Ministries, and definitely it'll notify you every time we go live. And so we appreciate each and every one of you tonight who have heard my true story. And definitely, if you want to hear some more, you got to pay me for it. Praise God. Okay. Outside of that, you all, tonight was a good night. And listen, Mr. Vanya, what are we talking about next Friday?
Well, you got to come back and see, don't you?
That's right, you all. So make sure you come back.
You know what? And next Friday, it's funny you said that, Reverend Skinner. So let us tell you guys now, we're going to have to pray about it. We haven't talked about it, but next Friday is Good Friday. So, so we're going to talk about this one and pray about it. And we'll keep you guys posted.
Okay, yeah, and Melody, Dr. Melody, a good friend of mine, she says, I want anyone in Will County over 60 years old to know that Will County Senior Services have 140 COVID shots available until Monday. So if you know anybody that's 60 years old, older in Will County, definitely you want to pass that resource on. And so if y'all have resources that you know about, please hit me up and I will put it, we'll have it put on the website because we're all about helping people more than just in the spiritual way, but in all ways. So definitely we'll have to talk about that. Thanks, Sister Vanya be on it, you all. So we appreciate that. We love you all. And as Sister Vanya would say, happy
Friday. Have a good night. Go get some rest. Reverend Skinner. And peace out. We love you guys.